let's move topics to the technology behind, or technologies that enable you to do your job effectively. So what technologies or tools enable your team to stay on top of disruptors, competitors, and emergent ideas, thus mitigating potential failure when entering into a project?
I think a critical thing is to be very clear about what you know and what you assume. And it's very easy to assume things that actually, are wrong. The frame, if you assume something, you make an ass out of you and me. And that's a really easy pitfall for teams to make, that they believe they know something and actually they're assuming it and it's not true. And so really making sure that you check your assumptions and that you focus on that curiosity and that learning culture becomes really critical. And use everybody you can to learn. Like, you use the chef to help you. You can use, go find partners who might be able to help you, and don't just use your own network. Reach out and use other people's networks. I don't know how many PhDs you said, but I mean, that's a huge number of people at PreScouter, who could find you somebody who might know exactly what it is you're trying to learn about, and then you can A, learn a lot more quickly, and B, make sure you don't make any assumptions. So to me, that's a really critical piece. It's around not making assumptions, but really being clear about, this is what I know, this is what I think I know, or my assumption, and then how am I going to test out that assumption? How am I going to make sure that I I go and learn whether that is real or not, or whether I have to adapt? And who's going to help me do that, and who can help me to find the right people to do that?
Yeah, so, I think that as far as tools, we love tools at Tupperware. If there's any new thing out there, that seems to be worth trying, we're going to try it. Because, every day is a new learning opportunity, and we find that even though our process is mostly homegrown, there's a lot of things we can learn from other people. One of the things that people think of Tupperware is that they think that we're a big company, but we're not. We really function as a fairly small company, with limited resources. So we've been really focused a lot over the last 4 or 5 years, really on pushing this whole process of open innovation. We use a number of open innovation networks as well. We use PreScouter, but we use a number of others as well. But the key here is to actually develop relationships with other companies that can open up new spaces. And this can give you a real strategic advantage. The key is to work with companies that are actually non-obvious. We had a couple of relationships. They're still ongoing, so you can't talk too much about it. But the idea here is that you could work with another company. So, for example, someone in the automotive area, you wouldn't think as being a company that would be, a direct partner for a company like Tupperware. But you can open up spaces in between where you can accomplish products, or at least product ideas, that neither company could do on their own. So you actually need to feed this partnership in order to get things done. And it's the non-obvious connections that actually give you a real strategic advantage.
It goes back to a point that was made this morning about really being clear about what is the problem you're trying to solve. And if you can be really clear about what is the problem you're trying to solve, you might find that other people are trying to solve what I would call a parallel problem. They could become great partners, especially if they're in a completely different industry, because then there's no, competition risk and all the rest of it. But if you're really clear about the problem you're trying to solve at the highest level, that's how you can find those people. That spending time on what that, I thought the example about the incubators was a great one. I've seen that one before, but it's a really great one about if you define the problem really well, you can actually come up with really interesting and innovative solutions. And you can also find other people who are trying, so they probably could have found people who were also trying to keep something warm, but not necessarily babies. And that, that's how you might have been able to come up with that kind of solution.